So yeah, it's JD in the bag, myself, Chucky online. I got my guy Ovie with me, you know. Hey, spud me.
Come on.
What's going on?
Bruv, it's good, man. Everything's good. Everything's good, man. Family's good. I'm healthy and there's blessings.
You walked in with some good energy, bruv. And you said, do you know what? You was like, because there's like a box of clothes and stuff like that there. You was kind of like, right, it's just mad getting used to all of that. Like, talking that a little bit. Because it is, isn't it? Like, when you start, people know you and they just want to, you don't even have to pay for nothing anymore.
Like, it's different, bruv. You know, when people sort of want to gift you.
Yeah.
You know, because I don't come from that. You know what I mean? I come from a really a humble background, you know what I mean? Humble beginnings type of thing. So, you know, when people start wanting to give you stuff for free, the first thing is you're a bit suspicious.
Yeah.
Like, hold on, like, why
why?
What's the trade-off here?
Yeah, why? What have I got to do?
Yeah, but, you know.
What have I got to sell?
It's cool, man. You know, it is obviously nice, man. It's dope.
It's different for me than it is for you, but like, I know that that's something that I'm not going to get too used to. Do you get what I'm saying? People come in and just giving me stuff because we probably came from a similar background in terms of upbringing and stuff where things were just tight. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, even now, see, like there's like a lot of trainers and stuff that are coming out now. I am luckily enough to afford to buy things. Yeah. So because I wasn't able to have them before, when they're there, I'm going extra hard to have them because I didn't have them when I was young.
Go hard.
You get me?
You didn't have it before, bro. And you now, like, that's one of the other sort of beauties about it, I guess. When you come from, you know, sort of a humble background where you couldn't always have it. Now, you know, when you're in a blessed enough position to be able to make a way to get it for yourself, you're going to go hard. It's normal. It's normal.
So you grew up in Tottenham?
I grew up in Tottenham till I was about 11, I want to say, ballpark. And then I moved over to Mill Hill. Parents moved over that way, you know. Because my brother, he got into Mill Hill County. Yeah. He got into the school, and it's a really good school. So, yeah, my parents just moved over there. It made sense for me to go to that school too and whatnot.
What was it like down there?
You know what? Moving from Tottenham to Mill Hill was a bit of a culture shock. It was a culture shock, you know, because you go from sort of a community where, you know, all the kids I sort of grew up with in primary school, we had similar sort of financial situations. Yeah. You know, there was a lot of one parent sort of households. A lot of my friends, you know, they only had sort of one parent in the house. Yeah. You know, you're used to sort of going home by yourself after school from primary school years. Like, you walk home and it's not a thing. You know what I mean? It's not a big deal.
That was definitely normal for me.
It's normal, like, you know what I mean? You get home, you make your own food, like, you sort yourself out until mum and dad gets back from work or whatever. And then, you know, sort of I moved to Mill Hill, and then all of a sudden you seeing all the parents, they're picking their kids up from school every day. You know what I mean? Like, it's just little things like that. Like, I was like, hold on, what?
That's kind of weird.
You know, what do you mean? You're not walking home yourself.
Yeah,
Mum you said
mum's dropping you off.
Mum's dropping you off and picking you up. The two. What? No, this don't make sense. Surely. That's not normal. Like, but, you know, like, so it was a bit of a culture shock and it was a bit weird, you know. I got in a little bit of trouble sometimes in school from time to time, like, and I think part of that was just I was a bit of me felt out of place. Yeah. Somewhat. But, you know, like, I learned a lot. It was, you know, a different group of friends. It was cool, man. You get used to it.
I think it's almost the similar situation with me, actually. It was like I was going to school on my own a lot of the time and like coming back and stuff, and it was the same with a lot of people in my school as well. The difference is that, like, where I felt a bit out of place at times was that I was like the minority in terms of where I was from, because it was predominantly white. But I felt a bit out of place at times, but I got used to that.
I mean, and that was another factor. Like, when I got to secondary school, there was a large Asian community in my school, and you know, a lot of white people in my school. Yeah. You know, and there was sort of a small number of, you know, black kids at Mill Hill. So that was another thing, you know, that I sort of got used to. Yeah. Whereas, you know, when I was in Tottenham, you had kids from sort of everywhere, all backgrounds. Were going to school together. Yeah. You know, because around there a lot of the time it was sort of, you know, parents had moved from their home country you know, to sort of try and make a new way over here in the UK.
Your parents are Nigerian, right?
Nigerian,
both of them Nigerian. Have you been back? Did you ever go back when you was young?
I went back. The last time I haven't been back since I was, I think, 5.
Oh, okay.
And that's the only time I've been.
Oh, for real? So even now,
I haven't been back since.
Oh,
I'm planning to go back this year. Yeah, it's gonna be mad.
You've got to do that.
October and December, I really want to go this year. I'm sort of, that's in the works. Isn't it?
I always feel that like when you go back later in life, it's different energies that you kind of almost embrace and get, because you can go when you're young and it's just kind of a thing that you just do because your
it's
parents
a thing
are
you do it.
Back.
Your parents are taking you, but the thing is, like, especially for those of us who are parents, you know, sort of we're first generation in the UK type of thing.
Yeah.
What we know of our background is what we're taught through our parents and what we're taught through our aunts and uncles that are over here too, like type of thing. But then to go back and to experience it for yourself, I think that's a totally different. It's a whole new animal, man, and it's a lot deeper because now you're able to make your own opinions and form your own viewpoint of your, you know, sort of your roots and your background.
And you have a certain understanding, like a better understanding of certain things. Do you get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
My dad, for example, telling me, when he was in Jamaica, I'm Jamaican. So he's like, like when I was young, I used to ride donkey and stuff like that. If you're telling me that when I'm young, I'm like, cool, I laugh at that, whatever.
Whatever.
But when I go back and I'm like seeing it.
And you're seeing it for yourself, I can imagine, bro. That's why I can't wait, man. I can't wait, really. Because it's long overdue, man. But, you know, I just haven't had the time, man. As mad as it sounds. But with basketball and stuff, it's, you know, sort of been the key aspect of my life. Like, it's, you know, my life has sort of revolved around basketball for a little while now. So
how, like, when you say a little while, like, when did that start becoming a thing in your life? Like, when you was before 11, after 11?
Nah, when I was about around 12, ballpark, I just started getting into it. You know, because my brother, it was him who originally sort of picked up basketball, and, you know, he would go with his friends, and I just wanted to sort of roll, you feel me? So, you know, I started to take interest in it. You know, would start off playing in the parks, watching, like, the street basketball videos and one mixtapes and stuff. And then I grew a passion for it, man. I loved it. Yeah. It was something, you know, it came easy for me. Like, I didn't feel like I was sort of out of the loop when I was playing basketball or anything like that. And at that point, I just knew, like, this is what I want to do, man. Of course. That's what I want to do.
Was music, like, playing a big part in your life as well in terms of inspiring you to be a basketballer too?
Music was huge, man. Like, hip-hop and basketball, they go hand in hand, man. You know, so, you know, the music culture. And musically, I've always loved music. I played drums. Before I played basketball, you know what I mean? Like, when I was young, I played drums for about 2-3 years. You know, and my dad's always been big on music. He listened. I remember growing up, and he was sort of in his studio, and I remember him listening to Fela and Bob Marley and a lot of jazz and saxophone and instrumentals. Like, I just remember all of those memories. So music's always been like, I love music. I love music.
How old was you when you went to America? Did you go 16, and you went to college there? Yeah.
Nah, first I went to high school for 2 years out there.
High school for 2 years.
So, which is the equivalent of A levels over here. Yeah.
And did you leave? So did you go on your own? Or
I went on my own. And I stayed with a host family.
Okay. How was it like, you know, leaving the family first off and going and doing and just being in a whole different country?
In a wild way, it was pretty easy, man.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Sick.
I just knew what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
I just knew I love basketball, man. And this was the shot I wanted. I wanted to go out there and I wanted to, you know, and I knew sort of, you know, my parents and my brother got my back and they know I'm doing it for a good reason, but I didn't look back. I didn't look back, man. And, you know, I think I'm blessed to see things that way.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, you know, some people can maybe get caught between, okay, I don't want to leave my family and I don't want to leave my loved ones and, you know, something that they really want, you know. But things you dream about, those are places you've never been before. So you're going to have to go out of the known.
Yeah.
You get to get anything.
It's that early sort of sacrifice, isn't it? Yeah. Like, where you feel like there's a dream there that you're pursuing and a career ultimately.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously you love your family and your friends and stuff like that, but there's like a little sacrifice that might need to be
100%.
made. And it seems that you kind of like identified that sacrifice kind of early still.
Yeah, I mean, and you know that. I mean, if there's one thing, like my mum and dad, they always used to sort of tell me growing up, like, you know, if you want good things, you will have to make sacrifices. Do you know what I mean? You're gonna have to sacrifice your time. You're gonna have to sacrifice, you know, going out with your mates and little things like that. You know, were just normal around that age. You're gonna have to make sacrifices, but. The more you love something, man, you don't see it as a sacrifice. It's like, nah, I'm doing what I'd rather be doing.
How different was it though? Like, because naturally, you know, you was in high school in England and that in London, and then you've gone like there to kind of finish high school to a degree and go into college. Like, how was that? Was it a bit of a culture shock to a degree? You know, I know that like musically, you feel kind of connected a bit because you're listening to the rappers.
But we're not though. Think about it.
It's
like
different.
you know, when I was growing up, I remember like Kano, P's and Q's.
Yeah.
I remember watching all of the like the Risky Roads videos, and you know what I'm saying. I remember Crazy Titch and all of that.
Of course.
Like I remember Garage.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean. Like Grime and all of that.
Solid Crew and
the
that.
Soul Solid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean. All of them. So it was different going out to the States. You know, obviously you knew the music that was popping in the States, but it was still different. But it was mad because I went over there and I went to 2 different high schools in the 2 years. And the first high school I went to was a private school.
Oh, for real?
It was mad. And you know, I'd never been to it.
Seriously?
Was wild. Bro.
So you went from like literally public school in England and that, London,
I went from Tottenham to a really good school in Mill Hill, and then they leveled up to a private school in the States.
That's
Like,
mad.
It was insane. I'm talking Lexuses and no one in the school's over 18. You know, obviously, like all kids.
Yeah.
Lexus. One of the girls that went to the school had like a sweet 16. You remember sweet?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Had a sweet 16 birthday party.
Man.
On a big boat.
On a big boat.
Big boat, bruv. Imagine that. Fella from Tottenham. I'm in Virginia in America on a boat party for a sweet 16. What? Come on.
It's funny when you just see like just the different levels of,
It's
of life. The different levels of
there's
life.
levels.
And you know what is mad as well, is that like, because obviously where you've come from, you've seen different things, but then like for somebody like that, that's just normal.
It's normal for them.
Like,
It's normal for them.
I'm gonna have a party on a boat.
It's wild. It's wild. It's absolute, bruv. The first thing I realised, and the first thing I know, I'm not gonna lie, like, I walked in on my first day, you know, obviously, like, that school, everyone, you know, they wear the slacks and the collared thing to, you know, that was a bit of a dodgy one, but we're in England, I wore uniform for calm.
Yeah.
I seen, like, people just left their phones on the floors, like, next to their lockers. Lockers were open, phones were on the floor, bags open. Trust. It was wild. That was such a wild element to me. when I seen
you couldn't do that in Tottenham, bro.
I seen like just everyone's stuff was just lying everywhere, I said I've arrived. Yeah. This is what this is how the other side lives. Yeah. Like it was wild to me. It was so wild to me.
Did you play basketball college?
Yeah,
like in uni, in America? Yeah.
Yeah. So
and how was that?
It was sick, man.
Yeah.
Sick. Like. Even playing sports in high school in
college
the States.
Basketball. I don't know why I couldn't get that.
Nah.
Yeah, go on. Sorry.
Even playing like in high school is wild because they put, if you look at the high school sports now in the States, there's stadiums in Texas that are bigger than some of the Premiership stadiums. Yeah. You know, and you just wrap your head around that.
That's crazy.
These kids, this is like that. This is just a level up from like, you know, this is grassroots stuff, and they pumped more money into the facilities there, and they have matching facilities to some of your most paid athletes in the world.
It's crazy.
Do you know what I mean? And in college, you know, that's just a level up. Like, you know what I mean? You know, you play in college, so you'll play on TV. You'll play nationally televised games. Like there's no difference between a professional and obviously besides just the money. But college sports
it's massive out there,
huge,
isn't it?
Huge.
But there's like a lot of I mean, I don't I'm hearing it, so I just hear certain conversations and stuff like that. But there is like conversation about the amount of money, that the college basketball and football and stuff like that make, but the fact that they don't get paid.
It's wrong.
Yeah. What is your
period? It's wrong. You can't have the. It's like. It's the same. For me, it's the same idea as a sweatshop. Sweatshop with athletes. You know what I mean? They're doing all the work. They're doing all the work, and you fool them in saying, "Oh, free education." Yeah. Let's break down the numbers. Don't give me that. Let's break down what a tuition would cost, and then let's break down what they make in TV contracts, what they make in ticket sales, what they make in merchandising, what they make in, advertising, all of that. Let's break down the numbers, and then let's see in proportion if it's adding up.
Let's have a conversation.
Do you know what I mean?
That. And that's the thing. It's like, I've heard people say this before. It's like, oh, okay, well, cool. You know what? Like, they pay for my accommodation, they pay for my healthcare. We get to use like high level facilities and stuff like that. They get to use some great facilities and stuff like that. But for me, when I'm trying to understand it, my mindset has always been, because I ain't so much. I'm not a person who's so much about money, but I'm definitely about the terms. So what I mean by that is, I'm like, okay, cool. There's a pie here. Yeah, there's a pie here. I need to know what's going where, and let's look at. I'm on looking at the percentages.
Let's look at the whole pie. Let's look at the whole pie.
And I feel like this percentage here is what I feel that we should get. Yeah. You can't just palm me off by saying, we'll do this. You're getting this, that, and this and this. There's a pie over there, and I don't even get to look at the pie.
Yeah. But do you know what? Like, and this is what, on the whole, happens a lot. It happens in a lot of different areas, and you really got to deep it though. Getting free stuff in a partnership is a par.
Yeah, I hear that still. I hear that. Actually.
It is a par, and you got to deep it. And I don't want to go deeper into it, but if what someone's coming up to you with. Someone runs a company. They're like, yeah, boom, let's have a partnership. We'll give you as much free stuff as you want.
Yeah.
And you're going into a partnership with them. It's supposed to be a partnership now.
Yeah.
It's a par.
Of course. It's a par. Because ultimately, a lot of what the business is driven for or driven to is you. So if you're looking at the terms, the terms is not even that great, because you're just getting the free stuff. Essentially, you're getting the free stuff. But everything else that's in the pie, you don't have a say or nothing in. And maybe there's an argument in it that like I don't understand or hasn't been brought to me or whatever. But I do think it's just a bit weird. Do you get what I'm saying? It's like, this is when I've actually found out how big it is over there. I'm like, what? Like, these look
when
like,
you see the whole pie.
Yes. I'm like, yo, there's like people out there that literally look forward to the college element of it, more than the actual main sport.
Of course.
That's their thing.
It's the energy.
Yeah, and they're pumping money into it, you know what I mean? Or whatever. And then like, so you just get, or you're just getting the free accommodation and the healthcare and stuff, and it's like at the end of it. And at the end of it,
how many people get paid from that? They put all the presenters, all of the without the college athletes, where you that's a huge part of your entertainment.
Yeah,
it's a huge part. But my whole thing is, it comes down to the time we're living in. Do you know what I mean? And it comes down to just being, just a bit. Just looking at the bigger picture, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we're always, everything in the media tries to tell you how good it is for things to come quickly. And, it's amazing. I can get you this in this quick time. And why is that a great thing? Why is that a good thing? No one even questions that.
No.
Is it a good thing to get it straight away? Is that even good? If someone says, boom, I can put up a house for you in one day, is that good? What's the quality of that house saying?
Of course, that'll burn down quick.
Like, what's the quality of that house saying? If it's able to go up in one day,
that can fall down the same day.
Fall down in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, but we're just not. too much. I just don't feel like we're
Yeah.
conditioned the right way to look at the bigger picture.
Of
You're
course.
taught to only look at the next tiny piece of cheese instead of looking at the whole block of cheese.
Fair.
Do you know what I mean?
But then, sometimes gone on and stuff like that. Talk to me about the time between playing like college basketball and also moving abroad and going and playing in Greece and Spain.
So I was done with college. Last game was done, and I got to training and working out, preparing for the draft. Because I was like, that was my whole goal. That was my whole purpose of sort of going over to the States for me. And then I didn't get drafted. You know what I mean?
How did that feel?
Felt horrible, man. It felt horrible. But at the same time, that was one of the first times I think in my life, like, I had to take a step back and deep the bigger picture.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? Because there's one way you can say, oh man, I've wasted all my time. Like, well, and then sort of getting a frump about it. But then you take a step back and just look what basketball's the vehicle that it's been.
Did you have conversations with like maybe your elders or like people around you about like how like it made you feel, but also just like, what could potentially be the next steps for you as well?
I mean, I knew if that didn't work out, I would always be able to play in Europe. That was sort of my fallback plan, if you have it. But I really didn't talk to too many people about how I felt, man. To be honest, now that I think about it, I didn't really speak to many people. Excuse me, sorry, about how I felt. But it was a disappointment, man. But it was a life lesson. You know what I mean? You hit disappointments, but you keep on plugging away, man. Because as long as you sort of believe enough in the bigger picture of things, then you're not going to limit yourself to one disappointment. Like, no way. No way. If you've been building for years, you cannot, no matter how big the disappointment is, you can't throw away, what you've been, all that work that you've, put into the bank. You can't throw that away, man.
Like, what was happening between the Love Island part, and the playing abroad?
Yeah.
What was you doing? Like, where was you? Before Love Island? Where was you? What was you doing? What was going on?
Before Love Island, I was in Spain for 3 years.
Yeah.
Before that, I was in Italy for a couple months.
Okay.
Greece for a year. Before Greece, I was in France for a year, and before that, I was in the States.
Okay.
So I literally I've been playing like in different, countries.
How did the Love Island thing kind of happen with you though? Like, what?
My brother, man.
Is it, yeah?
Big bro.
What happened? He just said, right.
Reeboks. Reeboks. No, literally, it started, I sort of dismissed it at first, didn't it?
Yeah.
When I come back in the summers.
Dismiss what? Did he ring you and say...
No. I was back. I come back in the summers, like, when I'm on the off season to just chill with the family and stuff.
Yeah.
So I was back in the summer, and like, that's when Love Island is, that's normally the period for it.
Had you been watching it before?
I never watched it, man.
Okay, because my first introduction to it was like 2017, and to be honest with you, I had no desire to watch it. I had a girlfriend at the time. She was proper into it, and I remember just being on my laptop, and like the one thing that caught my eye at the time was like in the bedroom. I can't remember who it was, but they was like a couple. They was having sex in the bedroom, and like as I'm looking at the TV and I'm seeing them doing that, but like they weren't just having sex, bro. Like he was letting off some steam. Yeah,
he was on TV. You knew he was on TV.
Yeah, of course. So I'm thinking to myself, what is this? What they're showing on the TV?
Yeah, it's mad.
Straight away, I'm kind of like, shock factor in it. Like what? And then that's kind of what sort of got me in. Because I'm like, this is just a bit mad to me. But like, so you hadn't even seen anything.
Nah, man. I watched 2 episodes last year because Alexandra Kane, who was in last year. We went to high school together. We went to secondary school.
Oh, okay.
When I was in Mill Hill. So like, some of my mates, Alex is on TV. So I checked it out. I was like, cool.
Yeah.
Saw her on there, and then I didn't really watch it again after that. But my brother, was like, he watched it religiously. You know what I mean? Him and his missus.
Okay.
So he was like, bruv, you know what? Like, we're just jamming it. He was like, bruv, you know what? You'd be sick on this show. That's exactly how he says it. He was like, bruv, you'd be sick on this show. I was like, man, shut up, bruv. What are you talking about? You know what I mean? And like, time had passed. I was back in Spain for my season. Literally just downtime after training one day. Like, you have a lot of downtime when you're, playing. You have training every day and then whatever, innit? So then I don't know why it popped into my head. I was like, man, let me check out the Love Island deal, man.
Yeah.
I went on Google. I was like, how to apply for Love Island 19 or whatever.
Yeah.
And then, so it takes you to the thing. And I started the application, didn't finish it. I was like, I caught myself. I was like, oh, what am I doing? What am I doing? Hold on. I literally just shut my laptop, man. And I just slapped back on the PlayStation. I was like, nah, man, that's not for me. And then they started sending me email prompts because I'd started it, innit?
Okay, so then
to finish the application.
Because sometimes they're like, they
some,
can see that you was there, and then they sort of come back and be like, "Yo, what, go on, you didn't finish this.
Come back here.
Me.
Come back here. Come back.
You wanted to chat. You wanted to chat initially. What stopped? Come back here, innit?
You had something to say.
Yeah.
Nah, so like they must have sent. I think it was like 4. It got to the 4th one because. The reason why I was like, nah, and then I seen like you had to upload pictures. I was like, it's long, it's too much, allow it. But then the 4th one, I was like, let me finish the application and I'll just, dead it, whatever, they'll leave me alone. Bruv, I sent in the application, they called me the next day. They're like, hi, so-and-so from ITV.
Yeah.
I was like, there's no way. I was like, are you kidding? Like, ITV belling me, like I'm in Spain, it's mad. They're like, no, yeah, it's really us. I was like, oh, that's dope. They're like, yeah, we think, you should come in and stuff. So, yeah, man.
So these times, because you said you was on your downtime, so what, did you fly back?
I was actually luckily in the country for national team stuff.
Wait, hold on, wait 1 second. Isn't Love Island in Spain anyway?
It's in Mallorca.
Oh, it's in Mallorca?
Spain, yeah.
Yeah, so it's local.
Local.
So what? So wait, you didn't even come back to the ends. You just went straight from the
No.
downtime.
I did come back. I was back when they were doing like sort of the casting stuff.
Oh.
I was back here. I was lucky, and it just like everything just seemed to like click up because I had a game for the national team.
Okay.
With because they have windows. You know how like in football they got all the windows. So I had a game. It was up in Manchester around December. I don't know. It was like winter time. Ripped down to London quickly. Did the little casting interview thing, and yeah, man. The rest
What is that
history.
actually? What is the cut like? What do they make you do? Have you got to walk up and down the place?
Nah. They just chat to you, innit?
Okay.
Just talk to you. Have a conversation with you. See what you're like, innit?
Yeah.
As much as they can, anyway.
So how comes you wasn't in the beginning? Like, how comes you went in like at the time that you went in? Because was you doing the casting stuff prior to it being on?
Yeah, it was.
So how comes you went in at that time? How comes you didn't? They didn't think. Was that just their thing?
Like I think the beginning of it was too close to the end of my season.
Oh, okay.
Like I don't know if I would have made it there on time. But yeah, it was mad. I thought I was good, bruv. When they told me Casa Amor, like I don't know. I thought that was the main villa.
Oh, did you? Yeah.
I thought I was going into I was like, yes, I'm going into this. Let me see what this joint's saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I got there and it took me like a day to realize like, nah, this ain't the actual villa.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like I looked around, it looked a bit different. I was like, right, it looked different in real life, type of thing.
But then you could naturally just think, because you're on TV, it does look different. But then after a while, you realize, nah, it's not.
It's not the deal.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And then obviously the guys weren't there and all that.
Yeah.
So then everything just sort of clicked once I actually got there.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it was wild.
The thing is, I mean, there's so much different things to talk about in that sense. And I don't want to necessarily have the same conversation that everyone's having with you on it, yeah. But like, there's this level of curiosity on just so many different things that I have in my head, bro. Like, firstly, when you came into the house, yeah, I remember it was like a thing where, what's the girl's name? The one that you first dated, Anna. Yeah, because before you'd come in, where she was talking about, I just need him tall. She didn't have any other thing that she wanted, but she was like, I need a tall guy, I need a tall guy, I need a tall guy. But she like had her other things or whatnot. So when you came in, yeah, the whole of social media was kind of like, yep, he's snatching the food now, because this is the guy that she's ultimately been talking about. Bro, I've never seen anything like it. Do you understand how much Twitter and Instagram and social media was riding for you, bro?
That's mental.
Fam,
Wow.
like, it was a different level of riding, bro. Like, seriously.
That's mad.
Do you, like, have you actually taken a moment to think and deep that? Prior, just not even the show, but just that. The amount of people that actually was just riding for you.
I don't think about none of that kind of stuff, man. I can't, like, how can, like, you know, how can you? I live the life experiences and then, you know, it'll just be what it is, man.
Yeah.
But, like, obviously, like, it's still overwhelming to me, and it's still hard for me to even process when I think just about the sheer amount of people who are so supportive and, like, the positive energy and the vibes and stuff. It's wild to get my head around.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I just leave it at that. Do you know what I mean? I went in there, like, I just, you know, I lived my life for a couple of weeks and you know, it's all a bit mad now, isn't it?
Did you feel like there was eyes on you at the time when you was in there? Did you feel it? You know, like sometimes when you go into a place, yeah, say like you walk into a studio and there's like a bunch of people in the studio and you're not looking at them, but you can just feel that they're looking at you. You can
feel that, yeah.
Yeah. Did you feel that when you was in there? Did you feel that like...
From like the people inside?
No, just from outside. Did you feel that?
I had no idea, man. I literally had no clue. There was a couple times, like, when, you know, I think me and Anna, we've sort of had a little fallout, whatever. You know, decided that we were gonna just
I ain't
go
even gonna
home.
lie. Sorry, bruv, that vexed me. I can't even lie to you.
But why?
I know it was time ago and all of that, but it did vex me only because I feel like a lot of us, yeah, like guys, some of us have been in similar situations where it's like you're having a debate with someone or an argument, but you ain't even done anything wrong, but you're made to feel like you've just done a madness.
Yeah,
and before you know it, it's ended so quickly, you're like, yo, like, what happened here?
What did I do?
Yeah, what happened here, bro?
Yeah, nah. Jeez, I lost my track of thought.
Yeah, so he was just talking about there was a little time when you and her like had a little moment where it got a little bit weird or whatever. But other than that, you was just kind of in there, just living your life, basically.
Nah, yeah, I was just doing my thing, man. Like, and like the main key thing for me, like I wasn't gonna go in there and force anything or be someone I'm not. Do you know what I mean? I was just tied up and just enjoying my time in Mallorca, man. Sunny, good situation. Yeah. But like, yeah, this is what I was gonna say. There was a time, like after that, we got to the next recoupling or whatever, and then we stayed in. And like, you know, my whole thing is, damn, like, you know, Anna must have like a lot of fans. Like they saved us, innit? That's like my whole thing. And then even later when I was with Amber, I was like, well, I got lucky twice. You know what I'm saying? Like Anna saved me the first time and Amber saved me the second time, type of thing. You know, so like the whole time, like I thought that was the last thing I was thinking. Like, people actually, you know.
Yeah, because I guess it's easy to kind of think that when you're in a couple, you don't know who the outside is riding for.
Yeah,
so you think,
don't know,
maybe
man.
they're like my
and
partner.
I was new, like I just got in there. So I was like, yeah, I'm just sure, you know, Anna's just got a huge following. Yeah, she saved us, innit? But yeah, cool. Like the thing that was just different for me, I think, to every other person who went in there, I just generally didn't mind or care when I went home.
Yeah.
I just didn't, man. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, it was an experience, regardless of
it's
whether
an
you was there.
It's an experience of
Yeah.
It's such a dope experience and a cool experience. Yeah, you know, because there's never any ulterior motive for me. Like, you know what I mean? My thing is, you know, my life is fine, just playing ball. You know, I'm happy. I just wanted to experience something different. Yeah. You know, and if I can come across someone that's real in that sort of environment, dope, man. You know, I wouldn't even go as far as to say love, you know, because love is deep, man. You can't, you know what I mean? You can't, you know, love is real.
Don't you reckon that's what like a lot of people just get mixed up with, like on the show? Like not people that are on it, but with people that are watching it. They put so much emphasis on but he doesn't love her though, and she doesn't love him though. And it's like, but yo, they don't even know each other.
Come
like
on,
the
guys.
love don't even.
Let's give
like
it a chance. You gotta give love a chance to grow, and love will be different for everyone.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There is no list that says, okay, this is exactly, what love for you will be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's,
I'll be honest as well, though. I was definitely one of them types of people that were kind of on the thing of, like, over the time that I've watched it, you see people get together, and then over a period of time, obviously they go out, just in the limelight for a little bit, and then they just break up, and then that just is what it is. Yeah. And everyone's like, oh, well, it'll only last for 3 months or this amount of time or whatnot. But then when you deep real life, that's actually just what happens in real life anyway. You meet somebody, people go on, do you know what? People go on, like, they meet somebody, like, the first person they meet, and they're with them for 10 years, like, just off the bat, just like that.
Come on,
you get together, sometimes it don't work out, and sometimes it
works,
does.
sometimes it don't. Like, that, and that's the reality of it, you know what I mean? And that's one thing, I think even a lot of the other islanders, they should keep that in mind, man. Like, you're all humans, man. Yeah. And sometimes relationships that started with the dopest of sparks, it just don't work out. It just don't work out. Yeah. And it's not because one person's bad or there's a bad guy and a good guy. Nah, just don't work out.
Of course.
Do you know what I mean? The majority of people in this world, the relationship won't work out with them. Yeah. The majority. It won't work out with more people than it would. Yeah. That's, like, if you deep that, it's the reality of it. Like, do you know what I mean? So,
how did it feel being like? Because you were one of the elders in there. Obviously, some people were like a bit extra young. Did that feel different? Did you feel different, like going in there as like a older person, a lot more chilled than everyone else? Was there a part in there where you felt maybe a little bit like fish out of a water, or a bit of out of place, or just I don't know, like...
I was an old head, man. I didn't mind, though. Yeah. I was absolutely fine with that, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I saw, some of the guys on the show pretty young, and yeah, man, you just got to embrace them, man. You know what I mean? And sometimes, I think more so, like... in the media and stuff, you gotta give some of these guys a break, man. Especially the younger ones. That age between sort of 16, I'll say, to like 24. That period there, like, teenagers right now, they're having a hard enough time, man.
Trust me, man.
They kids that age, they already have a hard enough time accepting who they are. And finding the confidence to be themselves. So, as a community, like, we got to help them out, man. You can't make things harder for them than it already is, because it's not easy for these guys, man. Yeah. One of the most savage times in all of our lives is secondary school. Secondary school, primary school is a savage place. Savage. Do you know what I mean?
And extra hard for some people.
It's really hard for some people, man. Yeah. Like, you got to give these lot a break. I'm not of the mindset that anyone's out there trying to do anyone harm or be nasty. Like, they're gonna make mistakes. They're young. They're really young. I'm still young. I'm still making mistakes.
Definitely.
Do you know what I mean? Like, so
imagine a life where we wasn't making any mistakes. That would be mad boring. It's
whack.
I think that there was, like, obviously a lot of conversation which you already know about, like, people wanting you to be with Amber and all of that type of stuff. And I was calling it from a long time. I was saying, listen, you see Ovie, that is not going to be that. But I tell you what it is going to be, though. You're going to be her brethren. Yeah. But every man that she has afterwards is going to hate your guts. You're going to be the brethren where it's kind of like, you saying what? My man's your brethren and that, yeah. What, like, you two really... them ones there where you can't just be friends with a girl and everyone's like...
But that's that's two things, man. That's the male ego, man.
It is. Massive.
Part of it is the male ego. Part of that is self-assurance. But part of that is because, like, again, I think the media, they don't promote relationships between people of the opposite sex that isn't sexualized. Do you know what I mean? Like, any big relationship that's in the public between a man and a woman or two people, like, what does the media turn it into?
Yeah, it's true.
How many people do you know in the media that are just really good friends? That's a man and a woman that they want to promote, and they don't want to sell
It
that.
doesn't fit into the narrative.
It don't fit into the narrative, does it?
Drama all the
they
time.
want drama, you know what I mean? And to do that, it's easier to create drama, I think, like in that sort of that intimate space than it is, between brethren.
Yeah. The last thing I'm going to talk about on just the show, anyway, was the message thing that I know that a lot of
Hey, come on, you know the deal, bro.
Come on, bro.
You know the business.
Don't be a menace,
You know the business.
Listen,
man.
bro, that was one of my... Okay, we have to
That was the
explain
only time I felt like I was maybe a bit old.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, that was the
know.
only time I was like, actually, maybe I'm just a bit old. Like, their generation didn't really watch it.
Of course. Yeah. And to be fair, it is an old...
It's an older
film.
school type of... Yeah.
And so for some people who don't know what we're talking about, when Ovie was saying message, where did it come from? It was from a film, right?
Yeah.
Don't be a menace in South Central while drinking your juice in the hood.
Come on.
And listen, I'm telling you, the film is so funny. And it's a spin-off of a film called Menace to Society and a few other
and
films.
And like the Boys in the Hood.
Of
like
course.
They got little clips,
Yeah. So like, that was where it comes from. And every time one of the dudes was in there like trying to kick some game or whatever it was, someone would come from and say, message. And then there was one of the last ones was like, he did it and the guy was like,
that's jokes.
But that became so big, that became massive.
Yeah, that's mad. That's wild to me. It's wild to me. Think about that though. Like, this is just stuff like I grew up on, like, type of thing.
Yeah.
And just in my group of friends and stuff, like, everyone would just get it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? We've all watched that movie type of thing.
Yeah.
So like first time I did say that in the villa, and like all the guys in there, literally every last one of them, they're like, no, you're not supposed to say it like that. You got to say, I've got a text.
Oh,
I was like, I looked at him. I looked over. And I was just like, all right, man, cool. Nice.
Is that what made you say even more now? The fact that man are telling
I'm
me
gonna
that I have to say it.
Yeah, I'm gonna say what I want to say.
Yeah,
man,
of course.
you know what I mean?
The man,
like
people are telling me, no, you got to say it like this. No, I'm gonna say
why
it.
do I have to?
Yeah,
why?
exactly.
Yeah,
you don't get it. It comes from a certain place.
It's a
right,
movie.
It's fine.
I got banter. You just But,
that was definitely a thing where I was like, Ovie's man, and he knows like. He's cultured when it comes to some of the old classics
you gotta
and
know,
that.
you gotta know these things, man.
I do want to say as well, I don't know if you ever see Paid in Full. That's one of my favourite.
Come on, you feeling me, eh?
Listen,
you feeling me, eh?
That is one of my favourite films ever. You
legendary.
Know? That's like one of my. That's like one of the only films that I've watched like over and over again. I'm not really a man who will sit there and watch.
I watched that plenty times.
Yeah,
plenty times.
Now you're in a space. You've come out. Yeah, third place.
Yeah,
third place, and life has obviously drastically changed in terms of your profile. Like huge.
Yeah.
I want to ask you, even looking back now in the little time that you've had out, how in reflection has it made you feel? Like now that your profile is as big as it is and everybody knows you, what goes through your mind every day?
Positivity, man.
Yeah.
The biggest thing that probably stays on my mind constantly is just being positive. I'm an optimistic person, even more so now, because I just think that's when you're now seen by a lot of people. Now you're in a position of influence. Do you know what I mean? And just need more positive energy influenced, man, and sort of letting people know that it's cool to be you, man. All of us every last one of us different, but every last one of us is cool for a different reason.
There was even conversations about like just you being a positive, black man as a role model and stuff like that. Do you get what I'm saying? Someone who's been on TV and where, maybe some people naturally thought that you were going to be the person who's going to come there and just be loud and overly aggressive and, bring the street to the thing or whatever.
But the thing is, you know what? What's mad about that? Reality TV is a space where you can't script it. So regardless of how you think someone will act, or maybe if, this is something that you support, you don't support these images that you want these certain characters there, you can never really truly tell how anyone will behave. Do you know what I mean? And I felt like, looking in retrospect, I'm just happy to have been received that way, because I genuinely do believe that, this whole sort of stigma around, the young black fellas and stuff, it's a lot of the time, it's not telling the full story.
Word.
Like we were saying earlier, like it's not looking at the whole pie.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean? But yeah, man, like to come out and sort of hear things like that, that's the stuff that's probably touched me the most, man. Like mothers coming up to me and sort of saying, proud of you, man.
Yeah.
It hits deep, man.
Yeah.
And the fellas, the support from the guys.
Yeah.
It's a lot harder for a guy to support another man. It's a lot harder. Like,
I'm telling you.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I know how
what
much
you said. It's like that male ego.
It's the male ego. So, and I'm a man and I understand it and I get it. Yeah. You know what I mean? But that to me was very, 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 very powerful, man. Because it shows that, like guys aren't out here, wanting to be bad mind or like, I've been received in a positive light and they've gravitated towards me. So it shows, nah, man, like, you can't tell me everyone doesn't want to be a bit more positive. Everyone doesn't want to, be a bit more happy. Like, all the man them want it, like, all of us want to be, sort of happy and in a good position, like, a good place.
Of course.
So that support for me, that was the thing that was like, whoa.
Yeah. No, that was sick, man. And I think, you're right. The male ego thing is, it's tough, innit? It's hard to. We find it hard to just give credit where credit's due sometimes, or do you know what? Or even to just say to a man, you know what? You're doing your thing,
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. We need more of that, man, because at the end of the day, the more we empower each other, the better we are as a community, man. Like all of the guys, all of us guys out there, man. We got to do a better job of giving each other props. There's nothing wrong with that. Someone else doing good. It's no reflection on how good or bad you're doing, ever. Do you know what I mean? You're running your own race.
Word.
You're the king of your own race, brother. Do you know what I mean? Like, and the more we all run our own race, the less you start, you don't compare yourself to everyone. Because, this whole thing about comparison and comparing yourself, who are you comparing yourself to, man? Why are you comparing yourself to someone else? A Bugatti that's a one of one in this world, how much value is put on that? So now you're a human and you're a one of one human being. That is priceless, man.
But what is it being like with everyone in your business now? Because listen, with everyone being in your business now, you see a little bit how the media works now as well. Do you get me? Like everyone kind of builds you up. Then next minute now, all kinds of stuff's coming out about your relationship and whatever. My girl being with football player there's a new one with you and Maya Jama doing a thing and all of these type of things. Like, is there's substance to that? Naturally, there's a story about you and Maya doing whatever it is. I'm sure that naturally, even though we sit and blame the press, naturally you might have to sit down and say,
no, but you know what's a joke? I've never met Maya in my life.
What?
I've never met her in my life.
You're going crazy.
I swear to God, I've never met her in my life.
Serious?
Never met her in my life. She
That's funny.
They did a filming thing for After Sun, for the very last After Sun, which was at the Villa.
Yeah.
Where she was there with like two other talents.
Yeah.
And like, the whole cast, we sort of shot I think it was like a promo for the last After Sun or something. Yeah. And so she was standing on the other side of the door, but I never met her in my life.
Wow.
It's mad, isn't it?
So
but you see what I'm saying? But like, I don't read too much into rumors. I don't read it too much into newspaper. I generally don't read the stuff. One, I'm busy, man.
Yeah.
One, I've got,
of course,
I'm sort of
conversations, getting free gifts and these
free
type
gifts.
of things.
You know what I mean? We gotta have combos.
Like, you get what I'm saying, brother?
We gotta have combos. How am I
reading got time to read that?
But nah.
But it still must. It's still. You don't read it, but you hear it.
Yeah, it's a factor, and you do hear it. But at the end of the day, like, and this is a big reason why I don't read too much even into people liking you.
Yeah.
Because reading into love is just as dangerous as reading into hate, brother.
Blood.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Let me tell you something, bro. I say this as well. You see, like when people don't like you, yeah. You can't take that too personally, because sometimes that comes down to how they perceive things or whatever it may be. Yeah. But also, you can't when people love you. You can't take that too personally.
You can't take it too personally.
Do you know why?
Because you lose sense of reality.
Do you get
You'll
me?
lose yourself.
If you gravitate to that so much, to all of that exterior love,
you can't gravitate to none of it.
If you gravitate to all of that exterior love, once it goes,
now
then
you're like,
screwed.
oh no, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know, so I genuinely, you know, as much as I appreciate the good in it, like, you know, the only thing I sort of feed off is when I meet people in person. You know, when someone sort of comes up to me in person and they maybe have a better day or they're cheered up or they're in a good mood. I feed off that, and that's cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that's just positive energy, and anytime you can be around any kind of positive energy and feed off of positive vibes and stuff, I think that's important. It's good.
What happens now for you? Because, you know, you've traveled with basketball and all of that type of stuff and whatever, and that is within your DNA to a degree.
Yeah.
And now you've come out, your whole life, the dynamics of your life has completely changed now. Yeah, your profile is completely lifted, and you are like essentially somebody who, you know, a lot of people know for a certain thing or whatever it may be. Yeah, what happens now in your life? Are you going back to basketball, or are you gonna essentially ride the wave and just make some investments? And you know what I mean?
Always got to make investments.
100%, man. Set that future up.
You got, yeah. You got to set
mean?
up your future. But yeah, no, I'm playing basketball. Still, I won't be playing at the same level, obviously. Yeah. But you know, I plan to play back here in the UK in London, in the British League. Yeah. Because you know, it's part of, like you said, it's a part of me. Yeah. And I still just want to do that. Yeah. But then, like, you know, opportunities are presenting themselves. You know, opportunities are presenting themselves. I love fashion. I do love TV. Yeah. I love the whole entertainment. Yeah. World. I find it pretty cool. So I would say everything I do now is just the things that I've thought through and they're just true to me. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to say this specific. And
things that will serve you.
And serve,
yeah. And when I say serve you, I don't necessarily mean financially. I mean just like
serve your soul, man. Yeah. You know. Because I'm a very big believer, and the second I came out, you know, I sort of explained that, and I sat down with my management and said, like, look, I'm not interested in doing anything just to do it. Yeah. Anything I do because I genuinely want to do it, and I find interest in it, and like you said, man, it's got to serve your soul and it's got to serve a purpose, brother.
Trust me, brother. Well, listen, we got to get out of here, my bro. But yeah, man.
You gotta go home. But you gotta get the...
It's JD in the Bag podcast. Myself, Chucky Online, Ovie. You know what I mean? Until next time, brother.
Man, I appreciate you having me, brother.
Love, really.